So one of the easiest herbs to grow, I think, is rosemary. And it's so easy to grow. I will show you how I like to do this. Now, I never grow rosemary from seed, only because I'll show you here in a minute. You can take a plant, take cuttings from there, and before you know it, you can have several plants, okay? Now, I use rosemary, especially with potatoes, and I love it with lamb. I like it in a beef soup of some sort. Just a really good herb, and like I said, it's so easy to grow. Now, if you live somewhere where it's cold like I do and you get a lot of snow over the winter, you may have found that rosemary will not survive your winter. And mainly that's probably because of the variety that you are growing. Now, I've grown two different types over the years. Now, I've grown ARP and Salem. And I did not keep my tags, so I never know exactly which one I've taken cuttings from. So sometimes they survive and sometimes they don't. As you can see here, in December we had a snow. And then by March the following year, that plant did not survive my winter. But if you live somewhere cold, get the variety called ARP, and it's supposed to survive your winter. Now, like I said, I do have some plants that survive, like this one here. It has survived my winters, and so I'm now taking a lot of cuttings from it. It could very well be the ARP variety. So usually in the fall, I'll take a lot of cuttings. I'll remove those lower leaves, and then I will leave that in my windowsill. Now, sometimes in the spring, I will buy a rosemary plant, and I also will take cuttings from it before I put it in the garden, and I will remove those bottom leaves, stick it in some water, put it in my windowsill somewhere where it's warm or getting some sun, and you'll notice that it'll start to grow roots out from where those leaves were. Sometimes, though, if I've taken a cutting in the fall, what I'll do is I'll put that glass of water with the rosemary cutting in it on a seed warming mat, and that just keeps it a little bit warm to encourage that root growth. And I get my seed warming mats on Amazon because a lot of times they're hard to find if it's off season. So I just order them on there, and you can check out my storefront. I'll leave a link down below the video. So I pretty much leave my cuttings in the water mostly all winter, and I don't really feed them anything. I do this also with my lemongrass cuttings. So by spring, it's time to move them out into my containers. So I'll just put a little fertilizer there on top and water the soil. Make sure it's nice and moist. And then we can just stick the cuttings right in there. And again, you want to make sure you're keeping this moist so that the rosemary will root down. So I did this in March. And then by June, it had rooted down real nice. It was showing a lot of new growth. And this is just how I've enjoyed growing rosemary over the years. I'll just take those cuttings and I'll move them all over the place. And like I said, now I'm getting more familiar with which one will survive my winter. So I'm trying to take cuttings off of those instead of off of the other variety, which would always die on me. So I hope that this little tip will help you grow rosemary too. And please make sure you've hit that subscribe button and hit that bell off to the right so you'll receive all notifications for my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a beautiful day.